What's good, y'all? What's the numbers TV? It's your boy Poro. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed already, and like a video if you appreciate the content that Poro and What's the Numbers I providing. Today we back with a profile piece. This was on Jordan Johnson, aka Shank Money out of Harlem / Jersey, where he was living when he was unfortunately murdered. So back in January of 2015, Shank's girl getting some text messages from his phone telling her to meet him in Harlem. Now she's reading the text and they sound a little weird, but she still goes to meet him. He never shows up, so she goes back home to Jersey where she's sharing an apartment with him, and she sees that her apartment is burglarized, ransacked, some money missing, some jewelry missing, a few other things is gone. So she calls the police and reports that Shank's missing at the time. So now it blows up all over social media. You start seeing Shank, they start posting him everywhere by basically trying to find where he's at. If you see him, all the missing posters and everything. To where a couple days later they end up locating his car in the Bronx, and he's stuffed in the trunk of the car dead. So now you don't hear too much for a couple days. Then you hear a video basically of somebody getting out the car and walking away. We don't see him getting out the car, but that's what the article says. And you see a guy walking away. You don't really see too much. He got his hood up. You can't really tell who it is. So now that's all you get for a few months. It's at the end of March now. Remember, this happened in January. So finally at the end of March, somebody gets arrested for his murder, and his name is Andre Jamal Thompson. Him and also somebody named Robert Martinez gets arrested for the murder also. But this is where some more headlines come into the case, is when 3 people get arrested for hindering the arrest of the 2 individuals I just named. One of the people that arrested with them is Miss DR. Now Miss DR at the time is I want to say from about 2012 to 2015. She's like a video vixen. She's working with K Slay and Straight Stunting magazine. She's doing video shoots, photo shoots. She's basically known in the urban hip hop community. So now you get a whole bunch of stories about, oh, she set him up, she put the wolves on the Shank, she did that, she did this. Now I don't know the whole story about if that's the case. She was only arrested for hindering the arrest. That's like, lying to the police, or you could throw him off the trail or whatever. But it doesn't say that she was an accomplice as far as setting Shank up or anything like that. But what they do say is basically that Andre Thompson lured Shank to a apartment in Fort Lee, an undisclosed apartment in Fort Lee, where he eventually assaulted him and stole his car keys and stole his cell phone that he used to text his girl and all that, and then they burglarized the house. So 2 guys get arrested for the murder, 2 guys get arrested for the murder, and the rest are just arrested for hindering the arrest of the 2 guys. So that's all you really hear for the time being. You don't hear too much as far as what happens after the case. You don't hear anything else with Miss DR. She basically gets low for a little while. You don't hear too much. So I'm like, let me do some research. Let me see. Let me go to the Department of Corrections, New Jersey, see what happens with the people that was involved in the case. So I finally, searched the Andre J. Thompson, and he's locked up for aggravated manslaughter. He has 11 to 13 years, and his earliest release date is February 2026. Now I do the same for Robert Martinez, and it's the same thing with him. He's locked up for aggravated manslaughter, 11 to 13 years, and his earliest release date is March of 2026. So it looks like they didn't take it to trial. That's why you probably get no articles of them being convicted. So they probably took a plea deal, got it dropped down to manslaughter, it looks like, and they got 11 to 13 years. So that's the story you got on that. Now also check for Miss DR's name. Her real name is Diana Escato, and she would never came up in none of the Department of Correction or anything, like even she did no time or anything. So her case maybe got dropped, or maybe she took something light. I don't know. So nothing really came out of that. But she was initially arrested when all this first happened. So that's the story we got right now. Because Shank, when he passed, it was real big on social media. I think Meek Mill gave him a rest in peace shout out. And if you know Harlem, it was the whole kidnapping thing. So whenever they hear kidnapping, they automatically take them to a time like when Rich Porter, his little brother Donnell Porter, got kidnapped. So especially when it has to do with the the urban environment uptown. So people that are around that same lifestyle, it takes you back to a time. So not saying that Shank was doing anything. I don't know what was going on, but basically from what we know is he got killed over some jewelry, some money, and some other whatever else they took out of the apartment. No story came out about it was bigger than that or not. Especially from what it says on these articles. I don't know. I can't just go off things that I heard. I try to keep it as realistic to the was presented to us as possible. You know what I'm saying? I don't try to just go off and put my own spin on things. But anyway, this is What's the Numbers TV. It's your boy Poro. Subscribe, hit that like button. I'll be back before you know it. I'm gonna start dropping a lot more consistent. I'm out of here. Peace.